This is going to be just a quick video on how to install the SMG kit onto your Diana. In the end, it hopefully should look something like this, or similar depending on your color kit. Install should take roughly about 5 to 10 minutes. Some of the things you're going to need, of course, are a 2mm hex wrench as well as a 1.5. You could use Allen wrenches. I find these very, very useful. In the end, you should have, again, something that looks like this or a combination. Install should take, yeah, roughly about 10 minutes, somewhere right in there. I do recommend to get a small bag to keep your smaller parts you take off your Diana in case you ever want to convert it back. They are very small, so there's no cutting or gluing or anything like that. Just pretty much put it on. But again, put your parts that we'll show you here in a second into a baggie. So first thing is, let's just cover the kind of the kit and what comes with it. We got the front suppressor as well as the mounting plate for that suppressor. We have the front shroud. We have the front grip that will go onto the shroud. We have a mag extender, a grip extender, or a grip lock. We have a pick rail on top. We have a rear mount plate. And then, of course, we have the stock itself. Now, this does going to have two backs. Break it to everybody. For everybody who's ordered, who already got theirs, you already know. I started including an additional back that gives you just a little bit more, right, in case you have longer arms. But for now, we're just going to use the stock one that comes along with it, which is this. But again, you typically will get that. So that's pretty much the kit itself. To save time, I went ahead and installed some of this stuff on here to kind of show you our process. So let me undo this. And some of these are very self-explanatory, like the mag extender for the magazine. Pretty much it's just one screw. You take off your old one, unpop the bottom, put this one on the bottom, line it up, and you're good to go. So I already did this one to save some time, so I'll put that to the side. As well as the lower grip, whatever you want to call this, lower grip holder. Very easy to do. You just take the bottom, you push it right onto the bottom of your grip. You put two of the smaller M2 screws right here, these little black ones, put one there, and you're good to go. So very, very easy to put on this lower grip portion here. Now I'm just gonna throw this back in there really quick. As for the front, this is the first piece that I'm going to put on. This takes the additional, kind of the other four little small black M2 screws. You're basically gonna put on the front piece that goes right there, and then put, of course, the screws into those four locking ports. Now, you don't want to put on the suppressor as of yet because it is easier to get the front shroud on here when that is off. So go ahead and put those onto all four portions and go ready for the next step. The next step is I would remove this, or you could remove this before because you're not going to need it. So take your front battery door as well as your screw and throw it in a small baggie because, again, if you ever want to convert back, you will have it. So the next step is to take off this front portion here, or this little front sight. So you just can take these two screws. So it should look something like that. You can keep the O-ring in there. It doesn't really matter, or you can take it out. Next is you can take out these two back screws here. Okay. So perfect. So we are going to reuse these two screws. You don't have to, but again, I'll show you where you're going to use them here if you want to reuse them. This screw has always been kind of a tough screw on mine. So it's going to look something like this. And if you listen, you can kind of hear your solenoids, moving around in there. So just keep that in mind. So the first thing that I like to do is put on this back portion here. You don't have to. You can do the front portion first, but all you want to do is just push this on. And you want to line up these two holes right here with the holes that were previously done for this here. So you just kind of line it up. You got to push it forward, kind of get it, and you should get it close. And then also make sure that you kind of go like this so the solenoid sits back down with where it is supposed to be. So you can look, they're all kind of lined up. So now you want to go ahead and put in the two longer screws that were very similar to your M3 screws that put in your solenoid. You want to grab those and you want to put them in right here and right here. Okay, so we went and put those two in. Now, you don't need to crank it. You just want to put it down enough so it is snug. Now, if you want to, you can take the additional screws that you had from your solenoid and you can place them right into these. I do suggest it just to make it a little more secure, but you don't have to for this. I'm just going to leave one in there so you kind of know where they go, but you put the other one right in there. It does give it a few more, just that extra bite on the top, but So depending on what you did, boom, you should have something very similar to this. Now, the next step you can do is you can put on your stock, but we can put this on last. I'm going to leave it like that because I want to put on the front shroud second. So the front shroud's a little bit, I don't say it's too tricky, but you just basically slide it on the front. Now, this is going to be kind of tight. So the thing that you want to do is you want to line up this bottom hole with this hole right here. And the way I kind of do is I just kind of like bump it a little bit. And when you're kind of getting close, like right there, boom. See how it lines up? And now you know you kind of have good alignment right here and for the top thing. So check it out, like right there. Get it very, very close. If it doesn't, just pull it back and just kind of tap it until it is lined up. Because this will be the hole that you're going to use when this is slid on to kind of bolt that onto the front. So you should have something like this, right? So now what we can do is, if you want to, you can put on your front grip or you can put on your front suppressor, whatever is easiest for you. You can go ahead and put the front suppressor on. And this one that we're looking at here is just, again, it's one of the ones that we throw in kind of extra. I don't want to break it for everybody. But go ahead and put this on, and it doesn't need to be torqued on there tight, right? It just needs to be twisted on, easy, done, right? It doesn't need to be going there tight. So now you're going to have something that looks like that. Now we can go ahead and put on our top Picatinny rail. Now, the quickest way to know which way it goes is you can just kind of look at where the holes go. In the shorter hole distance to the front is up here. You can't even mount it this way. I mean, you can, but you'd only get the front and the rear holes. So just make sure we're going to mount this the right way. It's going to go something like that. And you're going to put in the 4 M3 screws here on the top. So let's go ahead and do that now. So now that we have these 4 bolts on, this thing is pretty rigid. If these don't line up, it's probably because this bottom hole doesn't line up for you guys down here. So just make sure, again, this kind of lines up, and these should just go right in. Next thing is we want to put on this front handguard, and this is going to slide in the slot here, right over this kind of dovetail down here. So it just kind of slides on. And the top one should just slide on just as well, like that. Now, some people actually run it just like this because it doesn't really move all that much. It takes a little bit of force to kind of get that out of there. But if you want to really secure it, you can take the M2 12 millimeter. You should only have one of these, and you can put it right here, and that will go right down through this, as well as the front shroud, as well through the normal Diana itself. Typically, I don't run that because it doesn't even move. You have to really kind of give it a little bit of force to kind of make it move. So it is completely up to you to put that M3 screw in here or not. So now we're getting close to being done. The only thing that I actually kind of skipped and I forgot about is going to be, again, this kind of back plate back here. It just takes 2 M3 screws, goes right in, and of course you could put on whatever plate fits you best, whether it's the thicker one or this medium-sized one, really up to you. So the last thing that we got to do is put on the stock, and this is going to slide down onto this piece here. So you can just slide it down, something like that. Just get it lined up. And just double check. Look at your holes, and they should go all the way through back to these. Now, these two should already be inserted into the back, so you don't have to worry about putting those in. And then, of course, you want to take the 2 longer M3 screws and put them through the backside here. Now, here's the thing, is you do not need to crank this thing down. You just want to make sure they are snug. They should come out to about flush on the other side, so let's tighten these down and get that done. Okay, so both of those are done. You can see over here, they're almost flush, but again, you don't need to torque this thing down. This is really, this is really, really rigid. So that's pretty much it. That's about it. And just go ahead and put in your battery, right, like normal. Shoot it, test it. You should have normal clearance on both sides to flop these or flip these, depending on what you're, want to shoot. Back to normal, and you're good to go. I don't know, about 5 to 10 minutes. Again, I did some prep work just to make it, but make sure that you take all the additional small pieces, like the sights and things like that from before, and just put them in a small bag because, yeah, you will probably need them later. But it's as easy as that. So hopefully this helps some of you guys out that are out there, wanting to put this thing on there. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks again, Fox fans.